Welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about one of the most important panel, that is design panel. So let's open this project. So if I click on this desktop one, so we can see design panel, and you can see the X and Y position, width, height, angle, and if you want to make the corners round, you can also change them from here. If you want to add auto layout, you can do that from here. But if I click on this, you can see the interface is kind of messed up out here. So I'm not going to do that. So press Ctrl Z to undo things. Okay, it is normal now. And if you want to add a grids or column, you can do it from here. Currently it is in grid, so let's choose column, and you can set the how much column do you want. Like currently it is by default it is 5, so mostly in industry they use 12, so we are going to set 12. So you can see we can adjust this text like this according to these columns, so it will look more better. Okay, and we have options like layer, fill, selection, color, stroke, effects, and export. So let's look one by one. So let's remove this grid first. Okay, so if I click on this logo, you can see the X and Y position is here. So if I want to change like a position of X, I can change it from here. Like currently it is 122, so I can give it values like 100. So you can see it is changed now. And if you want, you can manually move this like this. You can also change the width and height of it. Like currently the width of it is like 96, and let's change it into like 105. You can see it is kind of stretched. The width is stretched, and let's stretch the height also. So you can see it looks really weird. So let's make it normal. Okay, so from this option we can make like constant proportions. So let's say if I change this into like 200, so width is automatically going to adjust according to height. Let's take another example. Let's say I'm going to make it up to 250. So you can see the width is changed according to height. So let me make it normal. Ctrl Z. Okay, so if you want to change the angle of this logo, you can do it from here. Let's say 45. You can see the angle is changed now. So if I move my mouse towards the logo, and you can see, so my cursor is changed, so I can just move it like manually, or we can just go here and type 0. And if you want to like make edges round, so it is already round, so I'm not going to do that. So let's say if you have a square, like this, and you want to change these sharp corners into like round, so from here you can make that happen. Let's say let's give value up to 50, and you can see our sharp corners are changed into round. So from constant we can pin our logos and navigation buttons. For example, if I click on my logo, and let's go to constraints. Okay, so currently it is in left and top. So if I change into like right and bottom, and if I resize my, let's say this frame, you can see the logo is moved out from that frame. So what I want to do is that when I resize this page, the logo has to stay here. So I want to pin this logo at this position. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go into constraint, and the position for this is left, and it has to be on top. So let's say if I select this frame again and resize it, you can see it is pinned now. And you can do the same thing with this home, contact, and about. Let's say I want to pin a home, contact, and about, but I want to do it at the same time, not again and again. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click home and hold shift, click on contact, and click on about. So this home, contact, about are selected. So I want to pin at this position, so I'm gonna go into constraints, and currently it is in right side, so I'm gonna choose right, and the position should be top. And if I click on this frame and let's resize it, so you can see it is pinned. So that's how you can use constraint. So next thing is layers. So from layers you can choose different blend modes like darker, multiply, color burn, like that. So currently I selected this square. Let's say I want to change it is into multiply. So I'm going to click on multiply. So you can see the effect. It is become transparent, and it also has the color gray. So if you want to change the color, you can also change it from here. But currently I'm going to leave as it is. So my favorite one is like this exclusion. You can see the magic. So this become like a negative film. For now, let's choose multiply. If you want to use another options like light, screen, color dodge, you can use it. Just play with it. Okay. So if you want, you can also decrease or increase the web opacity. So currently it is 100%. So I'm gonna decrease up to like 60. So you can see it is become little bit transparent. So let's if you want to hide, you can just click on this I button. It is gonna hide automatically. So let's make it normal up to 100% like this. So let's change the color. Okay, you can see we can change the color like this. So let's choose the color, this one. Okay, so from here you can also if you want, you can also add the hex code and paste it here, and we can also decrease or increase the opacity like 50%. Or if you want to hide, you can hide like this. And let's say you don't want color, you can just press on this minus button and it is going to remove. So let's undo this. So the next one is stroke. So from stroke you can add stroke. So you can see when I click on the stroke, it already added the stroke that is black. So I want to change it like into another color. So I can just click on this black box that is color, and I can just drag it on the color palette wherever I want. So let's choose this. So let's say this red one. Okay, you can see the border is red. And if you want to add like gradient color, so you can just go to this red box, and from here you can choose linear. So you can add two colors. So currently it is red, so I'm going to add the second color. It's like, let's add, okay, gray one. So you can see the half become the red and the half become gray. So let's make it solid for now. Okay, you can also increase or decrease the opacity. You can also add the hex code, and you can also choose different formats of colors like RGB, CSS, HSL, HSB. So if you want to increase the stroke, you can just add the number, like let's add the 5, and you can see the stroke is increased by 5. And let's say if you want to stroke should be in center, you can choose center, and you can also do it for outside like this. So from these 3 buttons you will get more options like add-on strokes, like stroke style should be solid or dash. So currently by default it is solid, so I'm going to choose dash. So you can see it become dashed now. So if you want to add how much dash and how much gap you want, you can add it from here. So by default I think it is 10, so let's make it up to 15. Okay, and what should be dash gap? So by default it is like set into none. So if you want, you can make square or round like this. So dash gap become round. So you can adjust the join, like this is a milter, bevel, and I think this one is the round. So you can also adjust the milter angle from here. So I'm gonna leave as it is because it looks really cool. Not for this project, but only this square looks cool. So that's how you can add strokes in shapes and objects. So let's choose the effect. So from effect you can add, let's add the effect on this imaginary programmer text. So I chosen this text, and the effect is background blur currently. Let's remove this one and add new effect, that is drop shadow. And you can see this text is kind of levitating. So if I want, I can also adjust the how much shadow I want. So currently it is like y is 4 and blur is 4, so let's increase the y, let's increase too much, so you can see the shadow. So let's change the position of x 40, so you will get that cool drop shadow effect. So but this is too much, so I'm gonna make it up to like, let's see, 5, and the x should be 0. Now it looks really cool. So if you want, you can like change the colors, like effect color. For now I'm gonna leave as it is because it looks really cool. So you can also adjust the like how much opacity you want from here. And if you want, you can also choose different blend modes like multiply, darken, color blend, soft light, and all that. Let's choose multiply. Okay, it looks, I think, normal. Let's say if I click on another element, like let's say I click on this frame, then all the design options like frame, layers, fill will be different for that element. Same for this element, for all the things. I think I forgot to tell you about more on effects, so I'm going to just delete the square and let's add another square. Okay, like this. So if I go into effects, so currently I'm getting option like drop shadow. So if you want, you can also choose like options like inner shadow, layer blur, and background blur. So let's see one by one. Let's choose inner shadow. So we can see the inner shadow is added. You can see here. If you want, you can also increase the blur, like let's add the blur up to like 20 and y up to like 20. So now you can see the inner shadow of it. So let's choose it again, the square, and let's make it layer blur. So you can see the layer blur effect is added on it. We can also like add background blur on it like this. So those all things you can do with effects. Let's say I have this frame desktop 3 and I want to add like one image on the background of it. Let's add this pizza image, drag it and drop this on the frame like this. Okay, I think it is kind of like really messed up, so let's choose the desktop tree, and you can see the image is on the top. So what I want to do is that I want to see all the options like all the shapes, text, and all that. So I'm gonna move this at the bottom, so we can see all the options. So let's decrease the opacity of it. You can see on the design panel image, and the opacity is 100 currently, so we are going to choose up to 20%. Then our navigation buttons and all the things on this frame will become visible. If you want, you can also choose the different blend modes like multiply, color burn, exclusion, difference, and all that. So I'm gonna leave as it is currently, pass through. And if you click on this image, then you will get this menu like exposure, constant, saturation, temperature, and tint, highlights, and shadow. And you can adjust your image from here, like let's make like this. So it is totally depends on you. So I'm just like messing with it. So if you are working on the like really cool project, so let's make sure your setting should be perfect. So that's kind of thing you can do with a design panel. So that's it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.